Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hello friends, this is Vijay. Welcome to ForumIAS Hindu Daily. In our today's news discussion, we will be seeing the topics on the slide. The first one is about the Manipur crisis. Here in this topic, the Home Minister, he made certain statements from the light of court orders. Then the second one, Tirumala Temple and the Dravidian architecture. Then the third one, the lack of drug recall in India. It came in the explanation page. Then the fourth one, coal import surged by 30%. Here we will be seeing certain basic tenets related to the coal, and the last one, I2U2 and other West Asian quad groupings. Here in today's news analysis, the article which related to the Ajit Doval meetup with the counterpart in Middle East, it happened yesterday. So here we will be discussing about I2U2 because it is one of the most frontline group in the Middle East. So where India is also part of the team. So here we will be discussing it. And this is the article section. This is the first topic. Court's order will be discussed with all stakeholders. So Amit Shah, he stated yesterday. Then the second one, video of Tirumala Temple, Ananta Nilayam, it goes viral. And here we will be discussing the Dravidian architecture. And it came in the explanation page. Here the point, there are some 3 points are there. So this is the most important in this article. And this is the fourth one. Coal imports rose 30%. And this is the last one. As I told you, in the new Quad meet with US, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Doval discusses infrastructure plans in Gulf. And without any delay, let us dive into the discussion. This is the first article. Kindly go through it. What's the background? The Home Minister, he states that the court order will be discussed with other stakeholders. So you all well known, the crisis have been going on in Manipur between the Meiteis and the Kukis. So the Kukis, they are a tribal community. Meiteis actually right now, they are not in a scheduled tribe, but they have been asking for the reservation in this scheduled tribe. And you might have known, the 60% of the population was almost Meiteis, and the remaining tribal population is 40%. And this 60% population, they are living in almost some 20% of the total landscape, and they are having representation of 40 MLAs out of 60s. Okay, 40 MLA out of 60 MLAs, they are from Meiteis. And the remaining 20 MLAs, they have been representing the 40% of the population. And with respect to Manipur, you might have known about the Cable Lamjung National Park, where Pumdis have been growing on, and Sangai, the endangered deer, it is also locating there. Then Tangta is there, it is a martial art of Manipur. So these are the few basic facts you should know. And here, what are the Meitei arguments to demand for SC status? The Scheduled Tribe Demand Committee of Manipur, STDCM, they actually began demanding the ST status for Meiteis in the year of 2012. So in 2012 onwards, they have been asking for the scheduled tribe status. The Meiteis, they were recognized as a tribe before the merger of the state with the Union of India in the year of 1949. The ST status, actually it is needed to preserve the community and save the ancestral land, tradition, culture and the language of the Meiteis. So this is what they have been asking for the reservation status. And another one thing, the Meiteis, they also need constitutional safeguards against the outsiders. Why? What is the problem? Because they have been stating that the community has been kept away from the hills, while the tribal people, they can buy land in the shrinking Impal Valley. The Impal Valley, it actually have been habitated by the Meitei people. Okay, but these days, the tribal people, they started purchasing the land in the Impal Valley. And the third one, the Meiteis are the Meiteians. Okay, so these are the two terms actually they have been using, and they actually felt that they are becoming marginalized in their ancestral land because the several tribal groups, they started purchasing the land in the Impal Valley. So the Meiteis having a thought that they are becoming a marginalized community, and their population also in the year of 1951, almost 59% of the state population was Meiteis. But based on 2011 census, their population have been around 44%. Then the fourth point, you might have known about the Naga and Kuki movements. And Naga, actually they are asking for a greater Nagaland, and Kukis also having, they are also raising their voices for the separate nations. So the Naga and Kuki movements, it actually fueled the Meitei nationalism. So the concerns over the demographic change and the shrinking of the traditional Meitei areas, it actually propelled the Meitei to asking for the nationalist oriented thoughts. Okay, these days actually based on the Kuki and Naga movement, they have been asking for a separate land related provisions. And in Manipur, you might have known the government is the largest employer. You all well known the Manipur is full of hills and they don't have any industrial base. So that actually the Manipur, the government is the largest employer, and it have been providing enormous jobs to the citizens of the states. So that's what these Meiteis, they have been stating that if we are getting the ST status means we will be getting a huge share in the government jobs. It will add certain benefits to the community. This is what they have been claiming. And another one thing, already there is a race for government jobs in Manipur. With the Meiteis reservation, they also looking up to participate in the race for the government jobs in the state of Manipur. So these are the few arguments they have been putting forward for the demand of the ST status. Now let us discuss about the other part. Why actually the tribal groups have been agitating against the ST status for Meiteis? Why are tribal groups against the ST status for Meiteis? The Meiteis, they have a demographic and political advantage. Even today, based on the 2011 census, their population is around 44%. So in economy also they are well advanced. Based on demography also, they are in a top-notch positions. So why they have been asking for ST status? This is what the groups which are against the Meiteis have been putting forward. And ST status to the Meiteis, it will also lead to the loss of jobs for the communities who are living in the Manipur region. So if the government is according the ST status to the Meiteis means the existing tribal community, they will lose their opportunities. And the second one, the language of Meitei, you might have known, it is in the 8th schedule of the constitution, and it is one of the 22 languages in the 8th schedule of the constitution. And many of them, they already have benefited from multiple reservations like AC reservations, OBC reservations, EWS reservations, like that you might have known. So from these reservations, already they have benefited a lot, like that people have been putting the points. Then the third one, budget and development work is focused on the Meitei dominated Impal Valley. Here you might have known the 40 out of 60 MLAs, they are from a Meitei community, and these 40 MLAs, they are having greater political representation compared to the other political communities, so that they have been allocating massive budget towards the development in the Meitei dominated Impal Valley. So these are the few points which have been putting forward by the groups who are acting against the Meitei community. And here measures to take forward. What are the measures we can take forward? The first one, the Local Committee, the 1965 Local Committee, it had recommended some 5 points. On based on what are the points, we can designate certain community as a scheduled tribe. For that, we are having certain glimpse in the Local Committee recommendations. Local Committee have been stating that the primitive tribes, then the distinctive culture, then the geographical isolation, then the shyness of contact with the community at large, and the backwardness. These are the 5 criteria we need to keep in mind while designating any community ST status. Okay, so these are the few points we need to keep in mind: the traits, then the geographical isolation, shyness, then the backwardness, then the distinctive culture. These are the 5 points we need to keep in mind while we designate any community as a ST community. Then the second one, bring more surveillance along the border areas to prevent the incursion of migrants from the Myanmar. And here you need to keep certain things in mind. From the Myanmar, already there is a political instability. So from there also, lot of people have been inflowing into the state of Manipur, and these native people, they are losing their opportunities. So that we need to keep an eye on the Myanmar borders. Then the third one, we need to maintain a identity of the people along the border areas to identify the local residents. Here, we need to sign certain peace agreements with the local insurgents group to maintain the peace in the region. Because if we are ensuring the peace means there will be a development. So this is what the third point have been insisting. Then the fourth one, the repeal of the AFSPA. You might have known it is one of the most controversial act in the independent India. The AFSPA Act 1958, it have been providing enormous powers to the security agencies. They can search and seize any person. They can do search and seizure in any premises. Okay, so the government should ensure that the legal system is fair and transparent to prevent the misuse of power by the security forces. If we are doing this means, it will ensure the human rights and the development in the Manipur region. So these are the few basic points you should know. And with respect to the article, the Home Minister states that the court order, what the court have been insisting, these all things and all will be discussed with all the stakeholders in the state of Manipur. This is what Amit Shah had been stated yesterday. Now with this note, let us move on to the next article. So video of Tirumala temple Ananta Nilayam, it goes viral. What is meant by Ananta Nilayam? It is the sanctum sanctorium. So actually the CCTV footages and actually it was a video recorded. Okay, it was a video recorded by some devotee and it went viral. Okay, so this is what it had been stated there, but it is a prohibited area. So Ananta Nilayam means sanctum sanctorium of the Tirumala temple. So video of TTD Nilayam, Ananta Nilayam, it goes viral. The TTD will take stern action. And you might have known about the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthan and the Ananta Nilayam. So this is the Ananta Nilayam region. Okay, so this is the Ananta Nilayam region. And the Venkateshwara temple, you might have known it is the popular Balaji temple. It is a landmark Vaishnava temple situated in the hill town of Tirumala at Tirupati in the Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh. So in Chittoor district, it have been locating there. Chittoor district is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. I hope you would know the difference between the Shaivite and the Vaishnavite followers, right? So one who worships the god Vishnu are termed as Vaishnavite, and one who worships Shiva are termed as a Shaivite. So the temple is also known by other names like the Tirumala temple, Tirupati Balaji temple, like that. So the temple, it is dedicated to the Lord Sri Venkateshwara. He is an incarnation of Vishnu, and people believing that he actually appearing in this globe to resolve the issues of the Kali Yuga. And you all well known, it is one of the richest temple in the world in terms of the donations received and the wealth what it occupied. So then the Tirupati Laddu, it is recently the government had accorded the GI tag to the Tirupati Laddu and the Sheshachalam forest division. This is where the temple have been located. So where the endangered red sanders is most prevailing, and you all well known, this red sander, it is having huge demand in the international market. So you might have known about the movie name, the Pushpa, right? So there actually the trade related to the endangered red sanders will be shown. And here lot of networks, lot of international rackets, they have been operated to drag the red sanders from the forest region. And this Sheshachalam forest division, it is the region which is having the tropical deciduous forest. So the endangered red sanders, they are growing in the deciduous forest regions. And here the temple is constructed using the Dravidian architecture. The Garbhagraha or sanctum sanctorum is the Ananta Nilayam. And this is the Ananta Nilayam region, as I already told you. The presiding deity is Venkateshwara. He is in the standing posture and faces east in the Garbhagraha. Now let us discuss about the Dravidian architecture. The Dravidian style of temple architecture of South India was pioneered by certain Pallavas and Chola kings. And here it had been given Mahendravarman I, Narasimhavarman I of Pallava kingdoms, and Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola of the Chola kingdoms, and some Pandya kings. So actually, this Dravidian architecture, it came into the existence in the 9th century, and both the Shaivite Vaishnavite shrines are designed with the Dravidian architecture. The early buildings are generally attributed to the region of the Mahendravarman I, and you all well known he is a contemporary of the Chalukyan king Pulakesin II. And this Pulakesin II, he defeated the Harshavardhana of Kanuj in the Battle of Narmada in the 618 AD. The same Pulakesin II, he defeated Mahendravarman I also, and the Narasimhavarman I, he is the son of Mahendravarman. He actually conquered the Chalukyan kingdom and he defeated the Pulakesin II. Now let us discuss some basic characteristic features of the Dravidian architecture. Usually in the Dravidian architecture, the temple will be enclosed with a compound wall. Here in the image, you can see this is the compound wall region. This is the inner compound wall, this is the outer compound wall, and this is the Gopuram region. So the entrance gateway in the center of the front wall. Okay, so this is the Gopuram region, so it will be in the center of the front gateway. And Vimana is here. So Vimana, it will be locating above the Sanctum Sanctorum or the Garbhagriha. It is a stepped pyramid that rises up geometrically, but in the Nagara architecture, it will be like some half hemisphere structure, right? But here it will be in the pyramidal structure. And in the Dravidian style, the Shikara is the term used for the crowning element. This portion will be termed as a Shikara. Okay. So at the entrance to the Garbhagriha, you will be seeing certain Dwarapalas. So Dwarapalas are nothing but a gatekeepers. So certain structures will be kept there, and they are termed as a Dwarapalas. And generally, in the Dravidian architecture map, especially in the temple map, there will be some ponds. But in the Brigadeshwara temple map, the ponds will be outside they are actually locating outside the compound wall. And these are the few things you should know. Then within the temple map, there will be subsidiary shrines. Here there is one subsidiary shrines. Okay, so these are the few subsidiary shrines you can see in the map. In many temples, the Garbhagriha is located in the smallest tower. Here there are certain basic features are there between the Pallava kingdom and the Chola kingdom. The temple which are constructed under the Pallava kingdom, they will be having the short gopurams, and the Shikara and Vimana and all will be very high. But in the Chola kingdom, the temples which are built under the Chola kingdom, they will be having the large gopurams. The gopuram structure will be very large, and the Sanctum Sanctorum will be very small. Actually the pyramidal shape, the Shikara will be very small in the Cholan kingdoms. And these are the few basic things about the Dravidian architecture, and there are certain sub-variants are there. The first one, Kutta or Katrasara. It means the temple will be in the square shape. So here, from the aspect of prelims, you need to memorize these terms, because in prelims they can ask you the term, and they will ask you the terms like Kutta, Shala and Gajaprastha are recently appeared in news, like that they can ask you, and they will ask you what is the point which is related to the terms what it had been given in the question, like that they can ask you. And Vrita means circular. Gajaprastha or Vritayata means the elephant backed. So Gaja means you might have known it is elephant. So Gajaprastha means elephant backed. So it will be in the elliptical shape. And Ashtasra means octagonal. Ashta means octagon. So Ashtasra means the temple will be in the octagonal shape. So that's it, friends, with respect to this article. Now let us dive on to the next one. This is the third article. The lack of drug recall in India. Here they had given what are the actions India had taken from the aspect of recall law, and here they had given why there is no recall law in India, and in this portion they had given what happens when substandard drugs are not recalled. Okay, so these are the few basic things they had given, and it is a very short article. Here you might have you might see some 3 points are there. That's it. And here in the last one, they actually discussed what we if implemented the recall law in India. And here there are multiple reasons are there with respect to the recall law. Now let us discuss briefly everything in detail. So the background is Abbott. You might have known about the company Abbott. So Abbott International, it is a pharma MNC. It alerted a people about the mislabeled batch of medicine that it had inadvertently shipped to the market. So it happened in the US, and guys, actually the pharma recall, it is actually voluntary action which have been taken by the company at any time to remove a defective drug product from the market. So this is what it had been given here. It is a recall plan, the voluntary action by any industry to recall the product with any technical or functional flaw from the market. And in the past, you might have known about the recall from the Volkswagen and the Maruti and the Toyota related to the malfunctioning in their airbag system. So because of the malfunctioning airbags, the accidents were happen, and the death rate in those accidents were very high. That's what they actually recalled the vehicles what they sold in the past, and without any cost they actually replaced the airbag system in the vehicles. So this is the recall, but recently the recall was done by the pharma MNC in the US. The article, it clearly states that since 1976 India have been trying to enact a drug recall law, but it couldn't. Why there is no recall law? The article had given some 3 points. The first one is apathy, lack of expertise, and a greater interest. Guys, in India, the regulatory agencies, they are not executing a remarkable oversight functioning with respect to the drug regulation. So this is the sad state of affairs. They don't have time-based targets to propel the growth of pharma industry. Whereas countries like US, China, and European states, they are having a time-based targets. So they all are having proper drug recall provisions in their legal enactments. Moreover, the drug produced by these states, they are having a comparatively higher standard than what Indian pharmas have been producing. Then the second one, highly fragmented regulatory structure. You might have known, India consists of almost 30 states, and each state having its own regulatory structure. Apart from that, the central government is also having certain regulatory agencies. So in the time of drug recall, one state will be doing a drug recall and other state will be selling the same drug in the market. So the efforts will be futile. Rather, we should give the power to drug recall only to the central agencies. Because if they are calling back the drug, means every state, they will be also implementing the provisions what the central agencies have been implementing. So this is what it have been discussed in the second point. And the third one, why publicity and the state of affairs will affect the brands. What it mean? Any drug recall system, it need to be embarked on the wide publicity. Therefore, if we are supposed to do any recall, means it will lead to the wide publicity. Okay, so in US, the drug recall is a rare phenomenon, whereas in India, if this provision is implemented, means often there would be a drug recall. It will affect the brand value of Indian manufacturers, as you might have known, almost 30% drugs which are not up to the standard what it is supposed to be. So we are producing substandard drugs. So if we are implementing the recall law, means daily actually the pharma agencies will be recalling the drug. So it will affect the brand value of pharma industries in both in India and in the international market. So that's what the pharma industries, they have been taking a stand against the recall law. Now let us discuss some other points. Why the drug market failure is on the rise? Because in India, you might have known, the substandard drugs what we exported to the other destinations have been failing to the standards what the foreign destinations have been keeping. So here the first point what they have been suggesting is the fragmented regulatory structure. As we have seen before, we are having multiple agencies. In India, almost 38 drug regulators are there. So if a drug is banned from one state, means it will be selling in other state. So it will create a haphazard regulations. So this is the one of the prime most reason for the drug market failure. And the second one, overlapping of jurisdictions. Many regulators has led to the inconsistent enforcement of law and the jurisdictional issues. See, 38 regulators are there. Each will be regulating certain aspects. Example, some drugs, it will be the agencies who are regulating the cosmetic products, they will also be regulating the certain pharma products. So there will be overlapping of jurisdictions, and these overlapping, it have been actually acting as a barrier to the market growth, the pharma market growth. Then the third one, no focus on the process. The Indian system, it is still oriented towards the end products. End products means the product what the pharma industries have been selling in the market. Rather, the government should focus on the process, because if we are focusing on the process means it will aid in the refinement of products. In the process, we can do certain arrangements, so through which we will producing the more refined products. Then the fourth one, no transparency. Here you might have known, with respect to the pharma industry, there is no transparency requirements or mandatory disclosures of medicinal requirements in the law. So this is also one of the important cause for the market failure in the pharma industries. And the difficulties in the regulation overburdened by the regulatory wings of the health ministry. The regulatory provisions itself is complex. So that's what the regulatory wings of the health ministry is also feeling the overburden. And the last one, pharmaceutical industry overprotecting the public health. See, the government is having certain aspects. They actually looking to propel the exports from the pharmaceutical industry. They are not focusing on the public health. This is what this point have been stating. Because we are focusing only on the monetary aspects of the pharmaceutical industry. Rather, we should focus on the qualitative standards of the public health. Okay. Now, the last point is no law on the drug recall. So, if we found any substandard drug means we don't have any provision to do a recall. So, these are all the few causes which have been enhancing the market failure with respect to the pharma industry in India. And here, the CDSCO have been given, Central Drug Standards Control Organization. CDSCO, it is a central drug authority, and it charges with discharging the functions assigned to the central government under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. It is a central government agency, and it have been sourcing the power from the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. What is the functions of the CDSCO? Actually, they are acting as a regulatory board, and here the board have been giving some approval for the import of drugs, and they are the one who will be giving the license for the clinical trials, and they are also doing certain licensing provisions also. So licensing means in the pharma industry, you might have known several licenses will be required by the industries, and the CDSCO is charged with those provisions. Mainly, they are the one who is giving approval for the import of drugs, and they are the one who is giving approval for the clinical trial of the vaccines. So if the Covaxin or the Covishield, if it is to attain the stage of clinical trial means, then the CDSCO, it should give the approval to those pharma companies to conduct a clinical trials. That's it, friends. Now let us dive on to the DCGI, Drugs Controller General of India. And DCGI, it is responsible for the approval of licenses of certain specified categories, like you might have known about the blood and blood products, then the IV fluids. IV fluids means intravenous fluids, and certain vaccines, and for certain serum. So for these products alone, they are providing the licenses. And as you know very well, it comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And what are the functions they are having? They are having an appellate authority. So if you are having any concerns with respect to the drug which is selling in the market means, you can approach the DCGI and they will settle the disputes. And they are the one who are setting the national reference standard. So this standard, it should be implemented by the other pharma industries, right? And the DCGI is the responsible authority for setting the standards. And they are the one who are also doing sample analysis from the drugs what it have been selling in the market. And the state laboratories will be there, state pharma laboratories will be there, and DCGI is the one who will be providing the expertise to those personnels who are working in the state pharma laboratories. So these are the few basic things you should know about the DCGI. Now with this note, let us move on to the next article. The coal imports, it rose 30% in financial year 23 to 162 metric ton on demand. So here, let me discuss about the climate action tracker. Okay, the climate action tracker, what they have been stating is, by 2029 to 2030, the generation of the electrical energy in India will be touching the 266 gigawatts. So 266 gigawatts we will be generating. And in that 266 gigawatt, almost 50% will be from the thermal energy, and the rest 20 will be from the hydro, and the other 30% will be from the renewables. So this is what the climate action tracker have been stating. So that's what the domestic coal requirement, it is actually expected to rise to 1000 million tons by 2031 to 2032 from the 678 metric ton in the 678 million tons in the 2021 to 2022. Almost we are going to touch some 400 million tons in the next 10 years. So in that context, the article came, it states that the coal import already it rose 30% in the financial year 23 to 162 million ton on demand. So what is the reason for the excess coal demand? We don't have no cost effective replacement for the coal, and almost all the iron and steel industries, they are using coal in their production process, and we don't have any cost effective alternatives for the coal. That's what the demand for coal have been excess. And the second one, continued expansion of the India's economy is expected during the 2022 to 2024. Between 2022, there was a 2022, it was a pandemic era, right? So now actually the demand is propelling, so the production is also enhancing, and it is predicted that the annual average GDP growth between the 2022 to 2024 is to be between 7.4%. So this is the average GDP we are going to attain between the 2022 to 24. The central government, it has also opened up coal mining for the private sector. The government have been claiming it as one of the most ambitious coal sector reforms. Okay, so the government anticipates that it will bring efficiency and competition in the coal production, and it is going to attract investments, and it will bring in the technology like that the government have been expecting. So we need to wait and watch. And you all well known, with respect to the thermal power production, the coal mining, the coal from the mining and all will be carried out by the private agencies, but the production is lies with the central government. So this is where the demand have been spiking up, and the import is also surging. And with respect to the coal, it is a type of fossil fuel found in the form of sedimentary rocks. You might have known, in the sedimentary rocks, the coal deposits will be there, and we are terming it as a black gold. And guys, it is the conventional source of energy, and it is the most widely available energy source in the world. And with respect to the coal, China is the leading producer, and China is also having massive resources of coal mines. And with respect to the distribution in India, we are having two variants. The first one is Gondwana coals. Gondwana coals, it is almost 250 million years old coal, and it makes up the 98% of the total reserves of the country. So almost all the coal what we are consuming is Gondwana coal. And this Gondwana coal, it is located in the Damodar region and the Mahanadi basin, then the Godavari basin and the Narmada valley. Plainly, you can take it as a Chota Nagpur plateau, okay, where the Gondwana coal is in excess. And the tertiary coal, it is almost some 15 to 60 million years old, whereas Gondwana coal is 250 million years old. So with respect to the tertiary coal, we are having deposits in Assam, Meghalaya, you can take the northeast region, then certain regions of central India like Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Kerala also having small deposits of the tertiary coal. Between the Gondwana coal and the tertiary coal, the purest coal is available in the Gondwana region, whereas the tertiary coal, the carbon content is very poor and the ash content is very high. The sulfur content is also very high. Whereas with respect to the Gondwana coal, the carbon content is very high, the moisture is very low. Okay, so these are the few basic things you need to know about the Gondwana coal and the tertiary coal. And this is the brief classification of the coal: the anthracite, bituminous, lignite, and peat. In the anthracite coal, 80 to 90% will be carbon. So this anthracite coal, it have been prevailing only in the Jammu and Kashmir region. And with respect to the bituminous coal, it is in the Chotanagpur region. And I already told you, the coal what we are mining in the Chotanagpur region belong to the Gondwana coals. And the lignite, and with respect to the bituminous, friends, almost 60 to 80% will be carbon. Okay, and with respect to lignite, 40 to 50% of the quantum will be carbon. So if you are taking 100 grams of lignite, means 40 to 55% will be carbon. But with respect to the lignite, the moisture content will be very high. And lignite, apart from Tamil Nadu, it have been prevailing in the Rajasthan region also, and in Assam also certain region is having lignite coals. And the last one, it is about the peat, and almost all the tropical rainforest landscapes in India, they are having peat, and here the carbon will be less than 40%. So it will be below 40%, and you might have known the moisture content in the peat will be very high. So the efficiency and the heat output will be very low in the peat coals. Now let us discuss about the last article. In new Quad meet with US, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Doval discusses infrastructure plans in Gulf. Already there is one Quad-like institution in the West Asia, I2U2, but recently they are also evolving another one Quad. So here the partnering countries will be US, Saudi Arabia and UAE apart from India. The achievements and the targets what these organizations are keeping is almost the same, like counter-terrorism, growth, development. These are the things they are focusing. Apart from these things, they are also focusing from the aspect of counter-China. So I2U2 like Quad is in the formation. So here the Saudi Arabia will be a partner, the Israel won't be there. So Saudi Arabia and India, US, UAE, these are the four countries, they are participating in the new Quad. Whereas in the old Quad in the West Asia, the partnering countries are US, UAE, India and Israel. Okay. And with respect to the background, I2U2, you all well known, it was formed in the year of 2021 October following the Abraham Accords. And Abraham Accords, it was signed in the year of 2020, and it is one of the one and only peace agreement which was signed in the past 26 years. So past 26 years, it was the one and only peace pact which was signed in the West Asia, and it was between the Israel, UAE. Okay. So actually through this accord, they have been normalizing the relations between these countries, and they are also focusing on the maritime security, their infrastructure, then the transport in the Middle East regions. Then I2U2 initiative is a new grouping of India, Israel, USA and UAE. And here guys, let us discuss some significance. Okay. So the first one, the security aspect. So in the security cooperation, this I2U2 and the new Quad, they are going to help the countries with exploring security cooperations. And between these four countries, between 5 countries, because Israel is also there, and these 5 countries, they will enhance the intelligence sharing, security cooperation in the Middle East region apart from the counter-terror measures. And with these alliances, India, it have been pulling the Middle East partners in its on board against the fight against the counter-terrorism in the Pakistan. Previously, they were supporting the Pakistan, but with regard to the I2U2 and the other Quad-like institutions, India have been pulling the Middle East partners on board against the fight in the counter-terrorism. And the technological aspect, biotechnology is the one which have been linking all these partnering countries. We all well known, India is having huge potential with respect to the biotechnology. So India can reap the benefits out of this country with respect to the market availability of the biotechnology. Then the third one, food security. In the last week discussion, we discussed about the AgriOta. It is a trading platform of UAE, and UAE these days they have been propelling their engines towards the food security. So they have been seeking the supply, and from India we are having enormous crop producers, so they can supply their industries, they can supply UAE's industries, so through which we can expect the government is going to double the farmers income. So AgriOta is the trading platform which is locating in the UAE, where Indian farmers they can participate in the trading and they can fetch huge profits. And the fourth one, working together in multiple domains. You all well know, we are actually doing a march in the fourth generation industrial revolution. So here the expertise from all the countries can be pulled off, and the new technology can be invented. So it will fetch benefits to all the partnering countries in the I2U2 and the new Quad-like countries. So that's it, friends. Now let us dive into the question part. If a major solar storm, which is a solar flare, reaches the earth, means which of the following are the possible effects on the earth? Here we should know what is meant by solar flare. So solar flare is stream of photons which is releasing from the sun. So mainly it will affect the communication channels in the earth system. So the first one, GPS and navigation system, it could fail. This is true. Then the second one, tsunamis could occur at the equatorial regions. This is false, because tsunamis can be occurred only by the thermobaric bombs and the earthquake. Then the third one, power grids could be damaged. It happened in the state of Rajasthan in the past. So this is true. Then the fourth one, intense auroras could occur over much of the earth. This is also true. Then the fifth one, forest fires could take place over much of the planet. This is false, because they will be in the form of electromagnetic radiation, so it won't cause any forest fires in the earth. Then the sixth one, orbits of satellites could be disturbed. This is also true. Then the seventh one, shortwave radio communication channels of the aircraft flying over the polar regions could be interrupted. Both the shortwave communications and the longwave communications will be affected because of the solar storms. So seventh point is also valid. Answer option C is the right one for the question number 1. And this is the second question, spraying pesticides on a crop field and inspecting the craters of the active volcanoes. Then the third one, collecting breath samples from the spouting whales for the DNA analysis. Which of the above activities can be successfully carried out by using the drones? These all activities can be carried out. Apart from that, these days in the Russia-Ukraine war, you might come across the explosive which was delivered by the drones, right? So they are also acting as a missiles these days. And in US and European states, they are using drones for food delivery and medicine delivery and all. So these all three activities can be done by the drone. So answer option D is the right one for the question number 2. Then the third question, commonly used consumed materials, unwanted or controversial chemicals likely to be found in them. So this is the question which was asked in the 2020 prelims. The lipstick, lead is present there. So this is true. Apart from lipstick, lead is also present in the emulsions, paints and all. Then the second one, soft drinks. Soft drinks are having brominated vegetable oils. So you might be drinking Coke, Pepsi and all. So in all those drinks, the brominated vegetable oils is present. So these brominated vegetable oil is nothing but the processed variant of palm oil. So the palm oil, it will enhance the saturated fat in the human body and it will lead to the cardiovascular disease in the future. So if you are doing in excess, if you are consuming in excess, means you need to reduce it. Then the third one, Chinese fast food, it will be having a monosodium glutamate. This is the universal answer, we all well known. So the monosodium glutamate, Ajinomoto. So it is almost all the Chinese foods, it have been using the monosodium glutamate. And apart from that, these monosodium glutamate, they are also found in the trace level in the tomato and in animal meat, even in the human body, in human flesh also. The scientists had found that the traces of the monosodium glutamate. So all the three statements are right. Answer option D is the right one for the question number 3. That's it, friends. Let me catch you in another discussion tomorrow. Thank you for your patience. Do multiple revisions on the topic what we are discussing every day. Let me catch you tomorrow. Bye.